Sending data. Come on. Unable to connect. What the? Oh, but it says I'm live. Oh, maybe it's just for the chats. I don't know. All right, let's just play this thing. Watching some Mark Marone.
This is for Marin Show, leaving out of Whole Foods parking lots in these cities. I'm not a casino act because I don't go to casinos. I find them, you know, disgusting and annoying. It's a job I could do. It's available to me. But I don't think any of my fans would be in Vegas on purpose. I think if you're my fan and you're in Vegas, you're probably walking around saying something like, "Why the fuck did Jenny have to have it here?" You know.
Fucking Jenny.
And I think if you were my biggest fan and you saw a poster of me in the casino in Vegas, Mark Maron tonight in the showroom, even if you were my biggest fan, you'd say, "Oh, that's a lot." You know, I love him, but I think he's coming to that place near us. You know, we're just starting to get the hang of Vegas, you know. And I understand. But the entertainment thing, I really believe that we do need entertainment. And I think it can be, you know, lighthearted and fun. And so I'm going to try to do that now. Yeah.
Oh, it's a special event. Nice.
Okay, so we had these big fires in Los Angeles. They were big. It was a scary time. Big fires, like huge ones, 2 big ones and a lot of little ones popping up. It was a traumatic, fucked up time.
Pass it over here, buddy.
And everybody got this app. I think it's called Watch Duty. And it was this app where you could see fires popping up in real time. So everybody in the Los Angeles area was refreshing the app every 3 minutes. And you just see these little fires. None of them were controllable. It was fucking crazy. And I didn't really understand the app. There was a lot of colors, a lot of different shades of colors. There was like a red that was fire, a red that was almost fire, a red that it meant it's thinking about fire, and then there was the other colors. One meant like, you know, you gotta leave. The other meant you think about leaving, and then there was the rest that like just be ready to go. So I did not understand the app. There were mandatory evacuations. It was fucking crazy. All right, so in the middle of this fire, 2 fires, 3 fires, several fires, I was supposed to get like it was morning, and I was supposed to get my kitchen painted. The ceiling had leaked. So I was having a guy come over like 7:30 in the morning to paint the ceiling in my kitchen. And I looked at my app, and I was pretty sure I was in trouble. So I was like, fuck. And then the guy shows up with his paints at 7:30. He's like, "Can I paint?" And I'm like, "What about the fire?"
My fault.
Oh my god. My bad.
And the guy said, no, they're far away. I'm like, "Are you sure, dude?" He goes, "Yeah, they're far away." I'm like, "All right, then fucking paint."
Oh, come on.
So then we go out to his truck to get more stuff out of the truck. And as we're standing in the street, this cloud of black smoke just starts enveloping the neighborhood. And we're both looking up at it. And now the once confident painter says,
"Oh my
you better
gosh.
go."
We got this.
And packs up his truck and leaves. So I'm like, "Oh shit, we're doing this." I'm full of panic. I go into the house. Now I've got 3 cats and 1 carrier. That's not a porno movie. It's my life. 3 cats, 1 carrier. Now people that don't understand cats say like, "Can't you just put them all in 1 carrier?" I'm like, "Are you out of your fucking mind?" I'll be lucky if I get 1 cat into a carrier. I have 1 cat carrier because I only take 1 cat to the vet at a time. And when I got to take a cat to the vet, I have to mentally prepare the night before and maybe leave the carrier open somewhere in the house.
Hey,
I got
nice.
1 shot at getting that idiot in there.
I like that
And
the
if I don't
stadium
get
does
that cat in the
that.
box, we're not going to find out why he's shitting all over the house. So now I'm in the house and I'm filled with adrenaline. They say that, you know, you can lift a car if you're filled with adrenaline. So I'm like, I'm focused, I'm locked down, and I get Charlie into that carrier in like a second. I'm like, "Go fuck yourself." And I shut the door. But I still got dumb Sammy and Buster, and I'm like, what am I going to do with these idiots? And then I realized on the porch I have an unrun errand in the form of a wicker hamper that I was going to bring to Goodwill. And I'm like, Sammy's going in that. So I bring that into the house. I shove Sammy into the bag. I poke a hole in the top, and I wire him in. And now Buster's just sitting there like, what's up? And I'm like, that Amazon box, buddy. So I shove Buster into the Amazon box, and I tape him in like I'm going to send him somewhere. And I just poke holes in the top with a pen. And I'm like amazed. I'm like, I did it. Look at this. And then I'm thinking, like, all right, what now? And then I realized, like, well, you got to get a go bag. Everyone talks about this go bag. That's the bag you got to get ready. You got to have it ready for when shit happens. So I didn't know what a go bag was. I Google go bag. And the one on Google, definitely a post-apocalyptic go bag. Like, you need a hand crank radio. You need, like, kerosene lamps. You need dried food. I'm like, I'm just going over the hill to Hollywood. So in my go bag, I just, like, put 2 pairs of underwear, a hoodie, and just all the cash I had in the house. I don't know why I brought the cash. I guess somewhere in my head, I'm like, there might be checkpoints, you know, and you got to grease those guys. I've seen the movies. So I'm loading all this stuff in the car, the cats in their boxes.
This guy's just sitting over there at the freaking other gold bar.
I look at my house for what I think might be the last time because it's going to burn down. And part of me was like, oh, finally. Because there's a lot of stuff in that house I haven't been able to throw away for 40 years. Like, I can start with a clean slate. I mean, I still have books from college I think I'm going to read. Like, some part of me thinks, like, I'm going to get through the collected works of Alexander Pope at some point. He's a very important satirist of his day, and I should know that stuff. So I say goodbye to my house. I get into my car. I have no plan. I'm just going to drive away from the smoke, and within 5 minutes, every cat evacuated its bowels and emptied its bladder into their respective containers. So now my car smells like a poorly run shelter.
Yeah, there we go.
My only thought is, fuck, I'm going to have to throw this
car
away.
Shit.
Because whatever's leaking out of Buster's box is never going to come out of that seat. So I don't really know where I'm going, and I decide, well, maybe you should get some real carriers for the other 2 cats. You know, and I was going to go to Petco and, you know, get the stuff. And I thought Petco opened at 9, but it opened at 10. So now I'm in the parking lot.
Shit, I suck.
Of a Petco in a Toyota that smells like shit with 3 cats going, woo! And it was kind of a profound moment because I realized this is who I am at the end of the world. This is where I end up.
Cat person. Not really a big cat person, but it's funny.
So I go in, I buy 2 carriers I got to assemble, and I buy litter boxes and cat food. All the shit I had 15 minutes away. But I did not think to pack a cat go bag. Guess I'm selfish. So now I'm driving, and I still don't really have a plan. And people are like, well, don't you have a friend's house that you could stay at? I'm like, why would I do that? Why would I stay at a friend's house for any reason? I don't stay at people's houses if they invite me on vacation. Why would you stay at a friend's house if you can afford a hotel? Why would you put yourself through that? Just being up at night, like, can you use this towel? Like, why would you do that? And then you wake up and they're all downstairs. We made breakfast. You want a pancake? I'm like, no, I don't want a pancake. I want a hotel. Is there a hotel around here? I don't want to be rude, but I just need my space. And I jerked off in that towel upstairs.
Damn it.
Which is okay to do at a hotel.
It wasn't part of the plan. What is not?
So I find a Hampton Inn in Hollywood, and I pull in, and there's a lot of other people there who were evacuating. It's kind of tense. And I go up to the front desk there, and I go, do you have a room? And the woman goes, we do have a room. And I'm like, do you take pets? And she says, we'll take a pet. And I'm like, okay. Because, well, I knew I just had one pet that looked like a pet. I had the one carrier, right? So I'm going to put on a show for this woman, you know, which is ridiculous. Because she doesn't give a shit. You know, people always say service industry people, they don't care about their jobs anymore. And I'm like, yeah, but there's a good side to that. They don't care about their jobs anymore. So I still put on a show. I got the carrier. I'm like, this is my pet. You know, and I take Charlie up to the room. And then I get the rolly thing, and I put the hamper, the box, I put the go bag on it, and I'm just sort of like, this is my stuff, you know. And then out of the hamper, Sammy goes, and I'm like,
nice.
I don't know what that is. That's crazy. I'll figure
I don't know why I said sorry.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Hell yeah.
So I get all the cats up to the room, and now, you know, I put together the carriers. I get them all in real carriers, and I'm just sitting on a bed. It's 10:30 in the morning.
I need to start doing that. The headbutt.
3 cats and carriers and cash.
The goal situation.
Like some dirty cat deal is going to go down. You're like, where are those Armenians with their cats? Let's get this going. And then I realize I'm going to have to, you know, let them out. Because they're going to have to eat and go to the bathroom. And it's weird when you have cats and you let them out into an alien environment because it's kind of panicky. I knew it was enclosed, but you don't know what's going to happen. I was afraid that Buster would wedge himself under the bed and I wouldn't be able to get him out. But I had to do it, so I let him out. And Sam gets out and he's like, I don't know what's happening. Charlie gets out, bounces around for like 5 minutes. He's like, do we live here now? I can live here. And
looks like a freaking Charlie's Angel.
So now I got the cats out, and I'm feeling like, you know, exhausted. I'm a little nervous. I'm frightened. You know, there's fires all over the place. But I'm in a hotel, but I feel kind of freaked out. So I figure I'll call my girlfriend, who doesn't really like me, I don't think. I don't know why I date women who don't really like me. I guess I think I deserve it. But, you know, she's all right. She's scrappy, you know, Chicago. And I call her up and I'm like, hey, baby, look, I'm okay. You know, I'm feeling a little scared, but, you know, I'm in a hotel room. And she says, well, good. You did what you had to do. And I'm like, yeah, I just was calling to tell you I'm okay. She goes, okay,
oh,
good.
Yeah, my mic's still on. Good. I wonder if I'm lagging.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to call some other people, I think. So I call everyone I know in LA to see how they're doing, and you know, I kind of settle down, and I'm feeling okay, and night is starting to fall, and I'm finally feeling relatively relaxed, and I'm looking out the window, which is 4 stories up, and it's facing the Hollywood Hills.
All right.
And right when I felt comfortable, an entire hillside just explodes in flame, and I immediately take it personally. I'm like, why the fuck is this happening to me? But it was a real moment as a cat owner, you know, in terms of what do I do? Because I really thought, like, I don't know if I got it in me to get these cats into these cages again. So if this is how we're going to die together, and it's going to be okay. But I pulled up a news site on my phone, and I'm watching them put out the fire that I'm watching a mile away out the window, and they get it out pretty quickly. So finally, I relax enough to get some sleep. And I wake up in the morning.
Where's the other guy at?
All right, so
over there freaking
now what do I do? I don't know if I made it clear that this was not a mandatory evacuation.
Get that.
I just freaked out. My house was never in danger in any way. I just didn't know how to read the app. So I was standing there. I'm like, I guess we'll just go back to the house, you guys.
Oh my gosh. Trash defense.
So we drove back to the house.
That was some really bad defense.
I'm getting the cats out of the car, and I see my neighbors. They're going to work. And I was like, how'd you guys make out last night? And they said, what are you talking about? And I said, well, I evacuated for the night. And they said, why'd you do that? And I said, the painter, I don't know. I don't know why. I think I'll be asking myself that for probably a few months. And then I did sort of have to ask myself, well, what'd you get out of this? What'd you learn? And I learned I can get any cat into any box pretty quickly. And
meanwhile, Mark Marone's killing it. Just fucking.
Well, I also picked up a couple of new carriers, and I left
he's all right.
He's
not my favorite comedian, but he has some
so
decent
I can
stuff
check
sometimes.
that errand off the list. I was happy to be home, you know, primarily because I just had my house sealed for rats. It's something you can do. Yeah, I know you got rats in New York. It's weird. The rats in LA, you never know they're there, and when you see one, you're like, oh my God. You know, there's an excitement, but a dread. But
The excitement, but a
I
dread.
live in an old house, and there's a crawl space under it. It's basically a basement. Not much down there. There's a sofa, boxes of books, some tools. But I've gotten rats here and there down there before, and I generally trap them in kill traps. And I know there's probably a couple people in here that are thinking like, well, you know, there are humane traps. And I'm not going to drive around.
Finally got our first goal. We needed that. Can't be down the whole game too much. Gotta start digging back, baby.
You know, I'm not going to be in a car with a rat, wondering how far I got to drive it until it doesn't know how to get to my house anymore.
Woman, baby. I don't know. It's hard to tell who is who. There's no gender.
And there's also the outside chance that midway through the drive, I'll get attached to it. And I'll negotiate something like, nah, you can live at the house as long as you don't bring your buddies over. It'll be cool. But the reason I'm talking about these rats is that I was in Vancouver for a few months, and
I
came back. And I had not been down the crawl space in 3 months, and I went down there, and there was more rat shit there than I ever seen in my life. Now picture a lot of rat shit. Now picture the most you've ever seen in your life. It was crazy, and I was like, what is happening? So I go upstairs and I Google, how much can one rat shit? And it's a lot more than you think. But even for a digestively challenged rat, this seemed like pretty prolific. So I assumed there was 100 rats down there. So I vacuum up all the rat shit with my shop vac. And of course I get an email the next day from a listener who's like, hope you wore a mask with that. A lot of hantavirus out there. So now I got to be like, oh, fuck you.
Oh, come on. And he caught it?
Now I got to walk around for weeks going, oh, fuck.
Come on, dude. And it always makes that person the goalie.
But I put like 10 traps out in the basement, you know, I did it like all over the place. And I came down a week later, no rats trapped. More shit, no rats trapped. So I'm like, what is happening? And then I wait another week.
Couldn't get there fast enough.
No rats
trapped. All right, I guess it's my turn to fucking
open up. So I got to call a rat guy. So I Google rat guy. There's a rat guy in my neighborhood, not a corporate affiliate. He
get
runs
another
his own
goal.
rat shop.
Yes.
And when you call him, you get that rat guy on the phone. I tell him what's up. He goes, we can have a team over there. I'll bring a team over. We'll seal the whole house for rats, and you'll get a year warranty on it. And I'm like, that sounds great. So he comes over, and he's looking around the crawl space, and he sees some holes, and he's like, yeah, we got to seal those holes. And then he says to me, you know, rats can get through a hole the size of a pencil. And I say, no, they can't.
They can't get, rats can't get through a hole that's pretty small.
And I say,
get in there.
Make it in nickel size,
yes.
And I'll believe you.
Yes. Let's go.
So he spends 4 hours with a team of people sealing the house up. And I'm downstairs with him after they're done. And I say to him, like, I say, look, I got a question for you. Can they live in the walls? Because I think I hear them in the walls. And he says, they don't live in walls, but they hang out in there.
Oh my God, those.
And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, they move through the
Oh
walls.
my God, those.
They'll spend time in the walls, but they don't live there. They're just going from one place to the other. And I'm like, well, I had all these traps, and and I had this horrible
he fucked him up,
realization, this moment of like, I think it was probably shame. And I said, wait, are they just coming here to shit? And the guy says, yeah, I think they are. And then I'm like, why my house? Why is my house the rest area for the entire neighborhood?
God.
And he goes, I don't know, but I found some pretty old rat shit down here. And my house was built in 1907, so I'm like, how old? He goes, well, we don't have carbon dating, but pretty old. So then I'm thinking, like, man, word must be out on the rat
I haven't got one goal, come on.
Like, if there's a rat within 2 or 3 miles from my house.
Oh my fucking God, look at this fucking guy.
Like,
look how trash this player is.
Go to Marin's. He's got a couch down there.
Look, he's gonna make us forfeit. This is his way of forfeiting us. What a sore loser.
My family's been going there for generations.
Best viewers
not
on
happy.
Streambo.com.
Are you?
Okay.
I mean,
Thanks for the tip,
I
bud.
don't even know if I can identify happiness. I don't even know if I know what the experience feels like. I don't know if I know the difference between I'm happy and fuck, this is good coffee. I don't know. I don't know if I can identify happiness. And something happened recently that kind of illustrated that. Not long ago, I was changing my cat's water. I'm not bragging, but I was changing my cat's
Changing my
water.
cat's
One of
water,
my
and I'm not
AirPods
bragging.
Fell out of my head into the water.
What does that even mean?
So I had the same reaction anybody would, which was, oh, fuck. God damn it. Not today. Any day. Any day. But I fish it out. I'm like, fuck. God damn it. And I put it back in my ear.
I'm gonna
And
probably
it
make this a
works.
short stream. Only be
And I
on
don't
until
think
10.
I've ever experienced
Gotta
that
get
kind
going.
of happiness before.
Got a family reunion to get to later.
I was like, oh my God, everything is turning around. Maybe fascism won't work out. Maybe the earth will cool down. This is a big day. I can hear Pink Floyd in both of my old ears. My ears are old. The whole vessel is getting older. 61 years old. That's crazy. I know. I didn't think I'd make it to 61, and I'm not thrilled that I did. Had a lot of opportunities to get out. None of them were on purpose, but they didn't work out. So here I stand before you. And as I'm getting older, I've become very obsessed with my posture. Like I feel like, you know, I have to be up
it's too yellow.
like around here, right? Because I see guys who are just a few years older than me. It's just a slight shift in angle, you know, from here to it's over. And then it's just the beginning of the slow descent into the hole that you prepaid for. My dad's around here right now, and I'm sort of like, just get in, man. Just get in. Come on, enough is enough. You don't even make sense anymore. Let's do this.
Oh, come on.
I don't even know
Run
if
out
I
of
want to be
steam.
buried. I think it's kind of morbid, and I don't know who it's for. It's definitely not for the person you bury. I think burial is primarily just so generations of people can drive by a cemetery in the distance, and an adult will go, your grandfather's
like
buried up
complete
there.
garbage right now.
And a kid will go, can we go up there? And the adult will say, no, not today. Cremation is also an option, but then people get to ask, well, what
Oh,
they
my
do with
headset's
Mark's
gonna die.
ashes? And I imagine
Gotta
the
charge
answer
it.
would be, I think they mixed them in with the wet
no.
food in small increments. Over several months, and then someone will go, that sounds right for Marin. Then I read about green burial. This is interesting. It's kind of eco-friendly, progressive. This is where there's
Damn
an
it.
allotted section of forest with no headstones, and I guess they just put you in a biodegradable bag and they just bury you under a tree out there. But my brain thinks like, well, that land's not going to be allotted for that forever. They're going to
I think we got a
develop
better
it at
goalie
some
this time.
point, which means at some point in the future, some kid could just be digging around behind his house and be like, I found a head. Some other kid at another tree says, there's one over here too.
Pass it.
But I think
Jesus.
that's what I'm going to go with. Because how many opportunities do you get to really change a kid's life? And that's a big day, the day you find a head. It's probably the biggest day of your life. That's the most fucked up thing that's going to happen to you. Your whole life, no matter how old you get. If someone goes, what's the most fucked up thing that ever happened to you? When I was 8, dude, we found heads. Wow, what'd you do with them? We put them in a bag and took them to school. What else do you do with heads? I mentioned my dad was still alive. He's 86 and pretty newly demented. I like to say it that way as opposed to has dementia, because that's sad, you know. Newly demented, it's like, what's gonna happen, you know? Because it's gonna get weird before it gets sad. And it does. It gets weird. But it's engaging. It's interesting. If you can let go of who they were and just deal with what is, there's a lot to be
Oh, you
gained
got
from
it.
it. Because eventually the filter goes away. The statute of limitations on what they should or shouldn't tell their kid, that's gone. So if you have unresolved issues or questions, just reach into that bingo cage of memories and see if you can pull out that missing piece that'll make you a whole person.
Jesus Christ.
Because we don't know our parents. You don't really know them. And you don't know yourself sometimes. I mean, we all have issues that we don't really know where they come from necessarily. Like, for instance, I'm not great with relationships, and over the years I've figured out it's for a pretty specific reason. I tend to put a premium, or I make sex the priority. In my brain, there's nothing better or more important than fucking.
There it is.
Now,
there it is. Oh.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying it's not important, but as you get older, people are like, well, what about, companionship and trust and intimacy? I'm like, I find if you're focused, you can fuck right through intimacy.
Yes. Finally.
But as I get older, I realize it's not a great way to be. So anyway,
Let's
I'm
go.
having lunch with my dad. I visit him in Albuquerque, and we go to
Seems
the
like
Chinese
one
place,
opening.
and we're sitting there, and the waitress had put the soup down, and she's walking away.
Okay, now it's not
and my
time
dad
to
says,
fuck up.
"Did you ever
We're gonna
like the
come at us hard, I already know it.
Orientals?" Yeah, we're not fixing that. All right, it's not even worth having that conversation. That ship has sailed. That's not what it's about. But for some reason, I saw an opportunity here. And I said, yes, I've dated Asian women before. And then for some reason, I look at my dad and I said, is there anything better or more important than fucking? And my dad, mid-soup, goes, nope. And then you can have that moment where you're like, that's where I get it. I get it from my dad. But I guess the liability of that, of continuing to be who I am and not really being able to develop real partnership, the liability of that mindset is that I'm just, you can end up alone. I'm just
no one expects it to just roll underneath, I guess.
Sitting at home.
I was going to do one of those trickster moves.
Good job. We've been through some stuff. Good job. I guess if I get what my dad gets, it'll be more like, you're not my dick. Where's my dick? Whose dick is this?
Oh, shit.
Who took my dick? Sorry. But he actually is not in that situation. He's got a wife that he took hostage years ago. And she's taking care of him. He's got this wife, and she's about 15 years younger than him.
Come on.
A born-again Christian Latino woman who's kind of Trumpy. Yeah, but who cares? She's taking care of him. I don't want to do it. I don't believe in Jesus, but I thank Jesus every day for Rosie. My brother and I don't really have an aftercare plan in place, and we might not need one because Mexicans generally move the hospital bed right into the living room, and then they can just have Christmas around the dying Jew. I think there's a certain poetic symmetry to that, but...
Fuck, I'm trying to aim it.
We do not have an aftercare plan in place. And I know my brother and I have to put one in place because you have to put these people somewhere eventually, right? Some sort of facility for like-minded people.
Yes. That was a tough one.
Where they can all hang out and reintroduce themselves to each other all day long and be just as excited every time they meet the same person.
That was a close one for MVP. I was only off by 400 points.
That's not nothing. I mean, how fun is your life, you know? A little backstory on my dad. About 20 years ago.
If it sounds like I'm not listening to him, it's because I'm only partially listening to him.
$200,000.
Talking and
a long time ago.
thinking about other shit.
But right now, all my dad talks about is killing.
Time for one more match. I think. Maybe two. We'll see. If you're in the viewing area and you're feeling frisky, leave a comment.
Vengeful murder fantasy.
Give me a thumbs up.
If that's what's keeping
something.
him tethered
Let me
to
know
reality,
you're out there. We'll
take it. All right, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. The plot thickens a little bit. Not too long ago, my brother calls me.
I'm
He's
like
in
leaning
Florida.
forward, I think, too much. Huh?
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
My dad's in Albuquerque.
Then
My
I go
brother
back.
calls. He's all worked up. He's like, I'm
Gotta
like, what's
get
going on? He's
my
like,
streaming face.
Rosie just called, and Dad's yelling at her. And I'm like, all right, well, just relax. What's he yelling at her about? My brother says, well, he wants bullets for his gun. And I said, well, she took the bullets away. It should be okay. He's like, no, it's not okay. It's not safe. And when you go out there, you got to try to get that gun out of the house. So I said, well, just hold on. Let's just talk this through. So he probably wants bullets to kill that guy, right? And my brother says, what difference does it make? I'm like, that guy's not a great guy. Just hear me out. Let's say we get Dad the bullets. He kills that guy. They put him in jail. That takes a lot off our plate. I was just saying, let's not look a gift horse in the mouth here. You know, we can have the state cover the aftercare. And if we time it out right, he wouldn't even know the difference. It just seems like a win-win, bro, if you think outside the box. Now, as funny as that is, which I believe it is.
Which I believe it is.
My dad really wants to kill that guy. So that means I had to have a conversation with my father about that. This is the kind of things you get to talk about with a parent with dementia. The conversations you never thought you would have. I had to sit my dad down. My dad can barely walk. And I had to sit my dad down and talk to him man to man about this situation. And I said, so what's going on, Dad? You want to kill that guy? My dad says, yeah, I'm gonna fucking kill him. And I'm like, not with that gun.
Dang, how was
well,
a
you just
terrible
gonna drive over there and kill him? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna drive over there and I'm gonna fucking kill him. And I said, can you even drive anymore? My dad gets indignant. He goes, I can drive. And then he says, nah, I don't know where I'm going. So I think that guy's safe for now. So, what do you want to talk about? Hitler.
There it is.
Hitler was a fucking dick.
Hitler
I
was a
say it
fucking
that way
dick.
for a reason. I mean, we all used to be on the same page with that, but
Yes.
now it's not so clear. But Hitler
We
was
all should be on the
fucking
same
dick.
page.
And look, I'm a Jew. We were taught our whole lives to stay away from Hitler. You know, if you're ever walking down the street and there's Hitler, try to get off that street. If you can't get off the street, don't make eye contact. Move by him quickly. But the reason I'm bringing up Hitler is we all know that Hitler and the Nazis were the personification of pure evil on the planet Earth. I mean, we have Nazis now. They're not as well dressed.
What is this guy doing? Oh, he's not even playing. Thanks, buddy.
Night vision goggles, and they get to choose their own hats, which was unheard of in the 30s.
Thank you, bud.
The original Nazis, they look sharp. Hugo Boss.
Yeah, I mean, it was all the way in the freaking goal, all up in the Kool-Aid.
That Hugo Boss designed a lot of the uniforms for the upper echelon Nazis. That's crazy, because it's still a brand. No one ever talks about that. People just buy Hugo Boss. They don't even give a shit. They don't even know that he designed uniforms for the Nazis. They're just like, look at my Hugo Boss suit. And I'm sitting here toiling over soy milk. So,
Oh, Pandora. Hold on. This will kick it in.
But the thing about the Nazis, and the reason I'm bringing it up, is like, look, we know they're evil, but it's almost mythic, and it's historical, and a lot of us don't have a personal connection to what the Nazis are really like. There's a distance there. There's a detachment to it, and I just want to explore this because I recently thought, like, well, I want to check in with Hitler. So I watched this 6-hour miniseries, 6 different hours about the Nuremberg trials and Hitler. And most of you think you know most of that stuff, and you might.
Come on,
But
dude.
the thing
I
that
fucking
stunned me
suck.
was
What
there's
did I
a sort
do
of
that for?
detachment to it. So I'm watching each hour. I'm kind of, I'm like, oh yeah, sure, the invasion of Europe, sure, yep, the Holocaust, yeah, I knew that. But I'm kind of passive about it. It's not really landing.
Sorry.
And then something happens 5.5 hours in. Now, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. He does die at the end, but 5.5 hours in, it's revealed. Now, I don't know if you knew this or not, but before Hitler killed himself, he killed his dog. And after 5.5 hours of watching that thing, that's the moment out loud I said, what a fucking asshole.
He says that, but then that girl, Chrissy Nome, killed her dog.
Kills his dog. I mean, I knew that other stuff, but god damn it, Hitler's a fucking dick.
Oh, what?
Jury's in on Hitler.
What the hell's going on right now? Did you guys see what I just saw? It looked like he just... Wow, dude.
I think if Hitler were
Wow,
today
wow,
as well,
wow,
he would appear
wow.
on Theo Von's
More wow.
podcast. And Theo would be like, see, y'all did a lot of meth, right? I mean, all the Nazis were all fucked up on meth.
Saw this one
right,
this
Hitler?
clip on social
That
media
shit'll
before I
make
even
you
watched the special.
crazy, dog.
Maybe you want to watch it.
I did some meth once. I was up for 3 days, and then I ate a live bird. No shit, Hitler, a live bird, bro. Hey, Hitler, you probably didn't even hate the Jews. That was just the meth making you crazy, dog. Hey, Hitler.
You didn't even hate the Jews. It was just the meth making you crazy,
I
dog.
apologize to all the Jews right now on my show.
Yeah, we suck.
No,
Our team
I
sucks.
get it.
Good. I want him to leave. Leave me by myself. I'll face them all.
I'd like to think that these jokes are relevant. I don't really know. I'd like to think my jokes, have impact. But I don't know the nature of my relevance. I think, at best, let's see, my relevance. This is the arc of my relevance. Maybe like a week or two from now, maybe a couple of you will be making coffee or something, and under your breath you'll be like, that was funny what that guy said.
Oh, come on, dude.
That's sort of the full arc, I think. Maybe if you want to take it a little further, you'll be in conversation a few months from now with some people, and they'll bring up something I talked about, and then you'll be like, oh my God, I saw this comic talking about the same thing. Do you know that comic Mark Maron? And maybe 2 out of the 4 will be like, oh yeah, I think I know that guy. It's me. And then you'll paraphrase my joke badly. And it won't get
come
any
on.
laughs. And then you'll have that awkward moment, and you'll be like, was that even funny? So, but I like to think I'm relevant, but I know, I'm not
I'll
totally
fucking block it.
delusional. I know there's no joke that I'm going to do that's going to go viral and just make all these new young Nazis just be like, oh man, I'm just mad at my dad, I think. It might be gay.
Funny thing
too.
is they could
This
just kick right in.
crazy.
There it is.
That Jews joke really fucked with my head. But that's what Jews do. I've learned from doing that joke that gay men don't like it. For a very specific reason. They don't like the association. They don't like the idea that these incels and these young Nazis are the way they are because they're closeted or they're latent homosexuals. They don't like the association. And I hear them and I get it, but I'm going to stand by it 100%. Because they're so gay. Have you ever seen footage of a bunch of young Nazis? It's like all that's missing is like dance music and a theme of some kind, which I guess
They ended it. And the misery. And it's almost 10. I'm going to get off.
An older gay guy came up to me after the show
Well,
and he put it this way.
It's been real, and it's been fun, but not real fun. I'll catch y'all on the next one.